Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another episode of Imperfect Peace. Welcome to another episode of Imperfect Peace. Now, I know y'all are like, who is this girl? Like, who is she over here? So, you guys, we are switching things up a little bit. Priestess Nyla is lifing right now. And so she is allowing her chair to be a rotating chair until she can fully come back to us full time. So we have a special guest with us today, the very, very, very special guest to me. This is, now we done already had Priestess Nyla's best friend on here, y'all. So it's only right for me to have my best friend, Hannah.
Hey guys.
So my best friend is here to fill in for the first rotating chair. And I couldn't be more ecstatic, y'all. Like, I am super excited. Now, we're not going to forget how we do things. Y'all know, we know how we do things around here. She's hip. So we're going to go ahead and get our tea light candle, and we're going to welcome our ancestors into the building. She has her tea light candle. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. Nice. All right. So y'all, it's time for happy hour. Hey, happy hour. Hey, happy hour. All right, now, so with happy hour, what we're going to do is, for us newcomers, or here, so what we're going to do is, what we do during happy hour is we express something that has made us happy throughout the week, and then we cheers and take a shot. Now, you guys, it's going to be a little different because my best friend is also my baby mama, which means she's pregnant, you guys. So she will not be taking a shot of any type of alcohol right now. So she's going to go ahead and give her happy hour, what made her happy this week. And then I'm going to go with my happy hour and I'm going to take my shot. And then we'll go from there. So best friend, what made you happy this week?
So mine is to some just extremely simple, but it's being able to have that one-on-one time with my oldest son, my stepson, every single morning before school. So it's like an everyday thing, not even just a weekly thing, you know?
I love that. And it's so cool because y'all, they just did a review for water on their way to school one morning. Mm-hmm. And it was so cute. Like, it was the best. Like, they did a review for a water company, right?
Mm-hmm. It's called Thuggizzle.
Thuggizzle.
So we did it, we did the review 7:00 in the morning, broke my son out of his comfort zone, and he absolutely loved it and had a lot of fun.
Y'all, so I can understand that. So cheers to that happy hour, girl. Go ahead. And that's not something just simple, because like creating those type of bonds, especially with stepchildren, who she does not say step. She did today, but she does not normally say step. It's always my son. So Don't get that carried away, but it's always my son. So I love that. Okay, so my happy hour is this. My happy hour is my best friend being here. Y'all, she's been my best friend since the age of 4. We've been friends since pre-K, and literally, like I told her earlier today, like the only thing that this woman has not been here for me throughout my whole life was when I learned how to walk. Like, from the age of 4 up until I'll be 33 tomorrow. Up until 33, this present moment, she has been, when I say here, from thick and thin through any and everything, she's been with me. She's been rocking with me. Like, when I tell you she's the vault, she's the vault. She knows everything. So cheers, best friend.
Let me take a swig of my coffee.
Yes.
There you go.
Wow. Ooh. And then I took a breath and I could feel that, that cool. And you know how sometimes when you take a shot and it's like, it not burns, but like you take a breath of air and that cool air be like, ooh.
Girl, you know you're talking to the queen of shots over here, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking. So y'all, all right. So y'all, we are going to talk about a few things today, actually, a couple of things today. But one of the biggest things that I really wanted to talk about, because this girl and I are just like, when I say yin and yang, we're yin and yang. And I know that we always say that we're the same person, because literally we're the same person. So it's hard to differentiate who is who sometimes, especially in our thoughts. Like if we write down our thoughts, you wouldn't be able to pinpoint who wrote down what unless you knew the handwriting. But if we type that shit, you wouldn't be able to know.
For real.
So, but we were talking yesterday about basically about kept women, okay? And full disclosure, we do not have an issue with women being kept. We do not have any type of issue. It's just this is coming from our perspectives. And so we don't want to offend anybody. This is not to offend anybody. This is not to cause any like disruption or any type of melee or anything like that. Like, we're not hating on nobody. We're not trying to cause trouble. None of that. We're just speaking from our own perspectives, right? And so I really felt like it was a good topic for us to talk about, because we're not kept women, okay? Now maybe later on down the line, I might be kept women later on, okay?
I'm just saying, I'm willing to take a break eventually, so.
Thank you. So we eventually want to be kept women, okay? So that's why I said, like, we're not throwing shade or anything like that, because like we're trying to get there, okay? But until we do get there, we have our own perspective of certain things, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So my perspective of kept women is, I don't want to throw out the wrong word. And I kind of feel like it depends on the type of kept woman, because there are women who are supposedly kept women, but they deal with the children. They deal with all of the household chores. They cook. They deal with like all the odds and ends, like the laundry and making sure dry cleaning is done, making sure like literally everything is done. And when the man or their partner comes home, they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to lift a finger for anything, right? But then you have certain kept women who damn near don't have to be mothers. They have nannies. Don't cook because they have food service being delivered. They don't clean because, I mean, who wants to do that anyway? So there are your different types of kept women. Now, I have an issue with the second example that I gave. I have an issue because growing up, I've always grown up to see, or have examples of people who cook, clean, they're domestic, you know what I'm saying? They take care of the household, take care of the children. And my mother worked as well. So she took care of the household, she cooked, she cleaned. But not only did she do that, my dad cooked and cleaned too. So I can't just say that it was just her, right? But we're speaking on women. We're not speaking on men right now. We're speaking on women. So growing up, I had an example of a domesticated woman who was in the workforce. So naturally, that's what I took to. I am in the workforce. I do have a 9-to-5. However, I do have my own businesses. You know what I'm saying? I have, Janae's Gems, which is branched off into different things, because Janae's Gems Ex Priestess Iris Rose is my spiritual services, and Janae's Gems, I have like Janae's Gems Fitwell and different things like that, which has my waist trainers and different things like that. So, then there's Janae's Gems Boutique. Can't forget that, which has it's my spiritual store, which has my crystals, my tarot cards, and different things like that in it, right? So I have built upon the foundation that my mother laid for me, right? So I cook, I clean, I'm a mom, full-time mom. When I was a wife, I was on it. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure he wanted for nothing, literally.
Mhm.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I was everything, you know what I'm saying? And then I showed up still for myself. I had friends that I was hanging out with, you know what I'm saying? Doing things with my friends and stuff. And so I kind of find it hard to sympathize or have, I don't know, I'm not gonna say have any kind of remorse or feelings for the second example of the kept women that I named, because to me, they're lazy. And I like I said, I don't want to just throw out any word, but I don't have any other word for it. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about kept women? I know.
I mean, you already know I'm on the same page because we're like one mind type of thing. And I would say instead of being lazy, I would say that in my perspective, they just don't have drive.
Yeah.
You know, where like you and I are like extremely driven, you know, we're driven by our family, we're driven by our work, you know, just our regular livelihoods. My version of a kept woman is one, still having that drive, but having that option of being able to, you know, be a full-time worker or a part-time worker kind of thing, right? Because like when I get to that point where I'm, you know, in my eyes fully kept, I'm still working a part-time job.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
And that's
like,
what I was about to
I
get
can't
to.
just sit there. I'm still gonna take care of my kids. I love to cook, and you know, I love to see my family's opinions on my cooking all the time.
Oh, girl,
so,
you already know. We be like,
you know,
how you like it? Is
right.
it good?
Now the cleaning I can avoid.
Yeah.
If I could, you know, someone else can take care of that cleaning for me, sure. Give me a
But
housekeeper. I'm okay with that. But the cooking I'll do.
So I'm okay with getting somebody to clean my house once a month, okay? However, you know me. You know I clean weekly.
Yeah.
And I'm a little OCD with my cleaning. However, when I clean, I bless the fuck out of this house. So
yeah, you do.
For me, it's different because I incorporate my spirituality and me being a priestess into my cleaning. So when I clean, I cleanse and I bless my home. And I really feel like if I had a maid service doing my cleaning, like literally all of my cleaning, I wouldn't be able to keep the vibrations as high in my home. So I don't mind cleaning because I understand what happens while I'm cleaning, after I clean. I understand what I'm doing while I'm cleaning. However, I would love to have one bi-weekly or monthly. I'm not even going to hold you. Like, I would love that. But, and the same thing with cooking. Like, I love to cook. So, right. And you know, I put so much love and I put so much energy into my dishes and when I cook. So it's the same thing. Like, I don't think that I honestly don't think that I could be a fully kept woman because number one, I'm too driven to just sit and do nothing. I'm too driven not to work. So even if I was a kept woman, I would do what I needed to do around the home, but I would still be a boss.
Right, exactly.
So I think that's why I personally have not issue, but I personally feel like they lack motivation. They lack drive. I don't want to call them lazy, but they lack motivation and they lack drive. And I really feel like, honestly, like there's no reason as to why they can't come up with something. They can't build their own something as they sit home and take care of other things. Why can't you multitask? But then we also have to realize how we were brought up. And we were brought up with parents who were driven and parents who didn't just sit and were complacent and were content with things. My dad and my mom were government workers. I'm going to say were because my mom's retired now. But they were government workers. But on top of that, my dad owned his own business. My dad had a multi-million-dollar business. And of course, you know, he had partners. But my dad owned a multi-million-dollar business aside from working for the government. And not only that, my dad's also a pastor. So that's income as well. So right. I've always been able to see multiple streams of income coming in and understand that it's okay to be content, but it's not okay for me to be content.
Exactly.
So it's okay for everyone else, and I don't know. It's okay for everyone else to be content, and I really feel like that. I feel that way because of my examples, and it's not okay for me to be content because of my example, because of what I watched growing up, and because of the foundation that was laid for me growing up. So I really feel like the whole multiple businesses, multiple streams of income, multiple projects going on at one time. I really feel like that really came from and was impacted upon me by my father. My mom, on the other hand, and I we'll be going further into like the relationship with my mom and myself on my Priestess Diaries, the Patreon one, not the regular one, okay? But I'll be going back, I'll be diving deeper into my relationship with my mom. But my mom came from a background where her parents really didn't have a whole lot of formal education. My grandmother, she graduated from high school, and when she graduated from high school was considered 8th grade. So you see what I'm saying? So it's just like my parents built upon what their parents had, and then I in turn built upon the foundation that my parents laid. So, but my mom, she was more content on her thing. Her whole thing was get in the government, you get a government job, you're good. Government job, right. Content, you do your government job, you do your wifely duties and your motherly duties, and you live, you call it a day. She didn't expound upon it by, saying, well, I want to own my own business, or I want to do this for myself. So my mom was more so in this mid area where you have the old school, the mid school, and now you have me with the new school. And I'm like, no, I'm taking everything. I'm taking everything. I'm not gonna say I don't want or need a man, but I'm cool on my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm good on my own. I can, function and operate and take care of myself. I'm stable. I'm secure. I'm good. But that also puts me into it puts me into a different bracket than what my parents were in. Mm-hmm. So now I've opened myself up to a different caliber of, I guess, relationship, different caliber of men, where it's afforded for me to be a kept woman, right?
Right.
So like I said, it ain't too far off, y'all. Okay.
That's good.
But I don't, and Hannah can attest to this, the way I operate is I pretend that I have nothing. I have nobody to fall back on. I have, it's just me. And I make sure that if I'm going to be a kept woman, it's me being kept from me. You know what I'm saying? By me. It's not necessarily a man. Now, if a man wants to jump in and say, okay, quit your job, you do what you do full time, you do your holistic therapy, you do your spiritual work, you do being a priestess, because I have mentees. And this is that's another thing. Like, there's so much that we do aside from being moms, friends, wives, well, I ain't no wife no more, but moms, friends, significant others, you know what I'm saying? There's so much that we do aside from that it's like I could not be a kept, like, just solitarily kept woman, period.
Like a Stefford wife.
That.
Like, it's just not in you, it's not in me, And like, I want to say, honestly, because it's like, in a sense, like where you come from and where I come from, in our family's backgrounds, like, it's kind of like a cultural thing in a sense, right? Because like,
do you want to explain your cultural background?
Sure. I mean, so guys, I'm half Filipino and half white. So
no, you're not white. Don't do that.
Okay. I'm not allowed to say that I'm white. However, my biological father is white.
But he's German. I want you to have that German.
Yeah. So I tell everybody, I'm Filipino and German, right?
Right.
And some people, you guys, oh, you're just white, whatever. Okay.
No, we go through all the diaspora,
right?
Around
like
here.
I'm a half breed, y'all. Like, I'm not no mutt. Okay. But I think when people look at it, they're like, well, what cultural things did you go through? Well, one, my mom's from a third world country. Okay. Just at that, she came to the States, right when she was pregnant with me. She's learning English the same time I'm learning how to speak, right? And then you look at my dad, she busted her butt. I mean, starting at McDonald's, being a closer, going to a trade job, and then eventually becoming a government contractor herself.
That part.
Like, she really, really did like come from the ground up. And, and I know like people are going to look at my dad and be like, well, what cultural, thing did he go through? Well, my dad wasn't blessed with, a great life. My dad came from a farming life, in upstate New York, milking cows, doing the hay farms and everything. Like, so my dad learned at a very young age to work with his hands. He joined the Navy and then started training people at the nuclear power plant back in Maryland. And then from there, he was able to get a job with a government contractor. And it's funny, right? Because you talk about your dad working, working multiple jobs and stuff. Girl, my dad still got a second job.
I'm about to say, your dad's still working two jobs.
He chose to get a second job, and does he need it? No.
And the thing too is like, and the reason we say no is because he doesn't have any kids at home. Like, they're literally empty nesters.
Right.
I mean, but he wants, it's that drive, it's that motivation. So yeah,
it's that hard work. It's like, it's built in our DNA kind of thing. Our families worked hard to become well off. Because I'm not gonna, our families aren't rich, but I will say that our families became well off, and they worked hard for that. They really did. They worked hard. I remember, not really remember, but seeing videos and pictures. When I was born, my parents were in a duplex, Long Island, New York. Moved to Maryland and got an apartment. Rented a house.
My parents were in a trailer in Suburban. Now, she knows what Suburban Trailer Park is. Okay? My parents was in the hood. Okay? They was in Suburban.
Oh, Jeebus.
So my parents came up, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my parents leveled up from where my grandparents were, because now my great-grandfather on my dad's side, he was a moonshiner. And my great-grandmother, she was everything. Like, she cooked, you know what I'm saying? She did the damn thing. His parents, they did the best they could. But my parents really literally took the baton and ran with it, because they didn't have parents that were government employees. They didn't have parents that were, smart enough to help them with their homework when they needed the help to, excel. They didn't have that. And so for them to pick up the torch the way they did, and for them to run with it and to be examples, the examples that we have today, girl, because if you really think about it, I'm not going to say they didn't have the example, but they had to outsource for that example.
And generational change too,
Yeah. So it was growing up for them was different. But I'm just to the point where I don't think I could ever call myself a kept woman. Even if I'm a kept woman, I'm still a boss. And I think even if I were to be the one to keep myself, or I were to have a significant other that was to keep me or make me a kept woman, I still don't know if I could categorize myself as a kept woman, because I would still be working for myself. I would still be the boss that I am. So technically, would I be kept?
I mean, I think in our eyes, our version of a kept woman, yes. But in everyone else's eyes, not so much. But that's like, once you reach boss status, you can't leave the boss status. However, when
you can get dropped from boss
status, right? But you gotta try. This is what I tell people all the time. You gotta try in order to lose something, right? You gotta try in order to get knocked down from that boss status. But us, we're bosses, so we're never gonna leave that status. We have that drive to be a boss. However, our version of being kept is being able to boss at what we love, while our significant other takes care of our wants for us. They
needs.
Give us the options. Yes,
take care of our needs and our wants.
Yeah,
our needs for the most part.
But they give us the option of being able to, well, you know what? Not even necessarily, right? Because when we hit that kept position, even though we're still bosses, they're gonna want to still take care. They're gonna want to take care of us without giving us that option.
Right.
So it's just not, we're just never gonna lose that drive to be able to do for ourselves.
Okay. So now I had a question come up, right? So the question is, can kept women and women on Section 8 be considered similar?
Man, See, and that's a tough, like, in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are being taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
just not by a specific person.
Right.
More
They're
by
being
the state.
taken care of by this. Right. By the state. Okay. So we're clear on that. So we have foundation. We're clear on that. So they're being kept. So both parties are being kept, except one is being kept by their significant other, and the other is being kept by the government, the state, or whatever. So, okay. So how do you feel about it?
I mean, so like, I would not mind being taken care of by the state. However, I do not want to, and it's like, I don't want anyone to take any offense to this, that does get taken care of by the state in any way, shape, or form. Because if I can be able to take advantage of certain things from the state without having to diminish my work ethics, because you have to take a pay cut, right? In a sense, you can only make a certain amount of money in order to be taken care of the state. Like, y'all, I just barely qualified for Medicaid for pregnancy, like just barely. And I had to fight for that. I had to appeal my case in order to just get Medicaid for pregnant women. But if I get insurance for my job, I'm taking like $300 a paycheck.
A paycheck per paycheck.
Like that kills me when it comes to my regular bills and the livelihood of my family, you know? So of course, like, I would want to be taking care of the state in a sense, but I don't want to have to lower my pay grade, lower my work ethics and my standards when it comes to, you know, what we are, bosses, right? I don't want to have to diminish that. And there are some women who maybe can't take on that additional work, you know.
Understand.
Maybe they have too much going on with kids, you know. They may have a lot of kids, you know. Not dogging anybody, but I'm just saying, generational speaking, okay, our generation has been popping them things out like it's nothing kind of thing. Okay, look, let's just own the truth, okay? But, and you know, I understand if you have multiple kids to take care of, you can't sometimes get that full-time job that you want, you know, working those hours to make that money, where you have to work a minimum job in order to successfully take care of your family as a single mother. Definitely understandable. However, if you only have a couple kids, right, and you decide to take a part-time job simply so that you can take advantage of what the state offers you, right? And when you get home, you do nothing. You don't take care of your kids. You don't take care of your family. You don't take care of yourself. You're sleeping all day long, relying on someone else to go pick up food and everything like that. That's what I have against, right? That's what I can't get down with. Because where, again, is that drive? Like, just the drive to take care of your family at that, you know? You're not doing anything.
So with that, like, I kind of feel like when you become, in a sense, okay, so let me answer the question that I put out there first. In a sense, I feel like there are some similarities. Because like I said, they're being, you know, one is being taken care of by a significant other and the other one is being taken care of by the state. However, like you stated, you have to really completely like diminish yourself, and you have to put yourself into a state of poverty in order to, for the most part, for most states within the United States, and I'm going to say within the United States because I don't know what happens globally, and we do have more than just people in the United States watching this. But in the United States, you have to severely diminish yourself financially to take advantage of those type of benefits. Whereas in other countries, those benefits are freely given, they're free.
Right.
So in a sense, I kind of feel like they are similar. But where you stated, you were spot on. Like, some people that are on Section 8 are working. They're not just, you know what I'm saying, sitting on their asses and doing nothing, and you know what I'm saying, just letting the state take care of them. Like, they actually have some type of drive, and it might not be the same level of drive that we have, because I can understand that we are different caliber of women, of people, you know what I'm saying, and some might not have the same level of drive that we have. So I do understand exactly what you're saying, whereas like you know, you have the drive to work a part-time job and to do what you can and still keep those benefits. But for those that aren't, and those that are not seeking to make better for themselves, that's where you kind of have the problem. And that's where those are the ones who create the stigma of the Section 8, this, that, and the third. Now, those are the ones who the people are usually talking about when they talk about the stigma of being on Section 8. And nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, but people don't like to be considered part of that stigma, right? Because every time somebody says, oh, well, you're on, I'm on Section 8, people automatically go to, oh, well, shit, her rent is like 25 cents. And you know what I'm saying? And she got all these kids and this, that, and the third.
Right.
But it could be that, you just fell off for a second. And the way that the world is, the way that inflation is in the United States, it's hard. Minimum wage does not cut it. And if you don't have a roommate, you're severely struggling, you know what I'm saying, to live and to take care of your kids and to provide. So there comes a thin line of the similarities between a kept woman and someone who is on Section 8, because I feel like there's still a level of struggle that women on Section 8 have over their heads versus women who are kept. But I do feel like there's this, it's like a Venn diagram. Like they have the similarities in the middle, but they're so different.
Right.
So that's how I feel. But I just wanted to pose the question because it was just an interesting question that came to me. I was like, oh, damn. Like, are they similar?
I mean, they're like same, but different.
Right. That part. So, yeah. So I'm looking to be a kept woman pretty soon, okay? Because right. I'm just saying, like, I deserve it, first of all. Like, when I tell you, you come in my house and I'm not gonna say it's spotless, but it's spotless, okay? Like, my son even calls me OCD with the cleaning. Like, I'm sitting here looking at a mop bucket with some mop water and a mop and a shop vac vacuum that I'll probably end up using once I get off of here. Like, it's not a game.
Why am I not surprised?
Right. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? For me, being who I am and what I am, being a kept woman, I just don't feel like that title would ever suit me. So, yeah, but I want to be our version of a kept woman. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to solely focus on options. Right. And I want to be able to solely focus on my passions and make my passions create funds for my family and create, generational wealth for my family. And most of the time when I feel like you're a kept woman, most of the time your significant other is literally like an executive or in like in executive positions or has their own businesses or in like supervisory or executive type style positions. So I really don't feel like they have that regular run-of-the-mill type of job. So essentially they can do what they want. You know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit for them. So I'm looking to create that type of freedom for myself within my life, and my significant other, whoever comes into the picture, has to be equally yoked on that type of situation. So but like I said, girl, it's my birthday tomorrow and I'm looking to be and by the time this airs, it will be my birthday. So yeah, but I think this was a good conversation. I really think that we did some justice to, the topic of being a kept woman. How do you guys feel about being a kept woman, the definition of a kept woman? Like, what is your definition of a kept woman? How do you feel about kept women? Would you prefer to be a kept woman? Answer those type of questions in the comments for us. Sis, I think this episode was great. I really appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for stepping in. Y'all, this is my best friend. She's gonna come back another time because I know y'all want to know all the tea about me. Okay, I already know it. And y'all thought y'all was gonna get some tea today, which you kind of did. Like, y'all understand it. Like, I'm literally a boss, and it matters who you have around you, because she's a boss too. So it matters who you have around you. But like I said, me and this girl have been going through it since the age of 4 together. So this is literally like my soul sister, my twin. Hannah, thank you so very much for joining me today. I cannot wait for you to come back on so you can spill some tea. I'm gonna let you spill some tea, okay?
I appreciate that. I like to talk about you sometimes, so.
See? She like it, okay?
Y'all get ready for the tissues.
But oh yeah, and that's why I don't like it, because she be making me cry and stuff. Like it be too much. See, that's what happens when you have a vote. You know what I'm saying? It be too much sometimes. But thank you all for joining us. We are going to end this episode here. I am so excited for what's to come for Imperfect Peace, what's to come for myself, what's to come for Hannah. Like, you guys, just, I guess I could just say wait and see, right? So with that being said, we are going to sign off. Thank you again for your love, your support, and go ahead and answer those questions in the comments. All right, we will see y'all later. Bye.